We just landed on the moon in a Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the same pulse. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. We just landed on the moon in a Lambo. Questioning myself if I believe it though. No longer question if I'm really a believer though. Now you should take into account that my account can build my belief. Take into account I must account for what I really think. Being in the space I learned to see. I only ever make what every day I can't believe. I gotta go. It's the only love I know. I believe it in my mind, so I know it's time to show. It's the only vibe to go. I do believe it. Do you believe it? I said, are you a believer till the end? When your funds are low, can you believe in it again? No longer ever questioning yourself if you believe it though. You never questioning yourself if you believe it though. You know the deal, please don't take it out. Never taking no L's if the Lord helps me on. Never taking no L's, so I stay with these so long. Never taking no L's if the team with me on the road. Never taking no L's, so I stay as eagle. Hello, crypto family, Tokenmetrics family. It's been a minute. It's been a while. Welcome back. Glad to be back. Glad to be back with the live streams. It's been what, over a year since we're doing live streams, but hey, you know what? The market's turning bearish for now, or I'm sorry, bullish for now, not bearish. Bullish for now. It's been that long. Hope you're all doing well. Just bear with us. We're using a new streaming tool, so just kind of getting the hang of it. But let me know how the audio is. Just post in the comments. Good to see some familiar names here. BK Crypto in the house. Brooklyn in the house. Good to see you guys here. I see Ali Bryant. What's up, fam? Bitcoin 2020. Jackson Crawford. Let's go, Astrobots. Yep. HP Supreme Crypto in the house. SMM to the moon and beyond. Bobby in the house. Yep. Let's make it fly. Red for Danger. Emmanuel. All right. Just let me know how the audio is, and then we'll get started. As usual, we got the Mentimeter back. Any questions you want to ask, just go to menti.com. That's MENTI.com. Use the code 49921006. That's basically 49921006. All right, audio is fine. Audio is good. All right, there's no lag with the stream. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, if it's easier, just scan this QR code. We'll be doing an AMA at the end, just like the good old days. Just scan this on your phone. Send any questions you want. Be sure to also vote on questions you want us to answer the most. Well, actually, I don't think you guys get to see access to the questions. All right, 2017 all over again. Yes, 2017 all over again, but this time it's 2025. I was just thinking about the other day. It's almost 10 years in crypto. I got in crypto back in 2016. I'm getting old for this. Time definitely flies in crypto when you're having fun. Okay, I don't know if it's just me, but on my other monitor, I'm seeing a lag with YouTube. So I hope that's not, maybe it's just on my end. All right, so let's get into it, just like the good old days. So first up, we've done the audience welcome. We'll go through using Tokenmetrics platform, and we've gone through and picked coins that are trending or coins that are high in trader grade, and we'll go through and live on the air just see if it makes sense as a trade. I'll share my thoughts on it. I'll walk through how to use our platform, Tokenmetrics. It's an AI-driven analytics platform to help traders and investors build wealth in crypto. Think of it kind of like a GPS or your AI co-pilot to help you as you're trying to build wealth in crypto and also preserve capital in crypto. I'll walk you through how I use Tokenmetrics, and then we'll answer any questions you have at the end. All right, so with that being said, let's hop straight into the platform. If you're brand new here, just go to tokenmetrics.com, sign up. We have free accounts. We have a free plan. You can come here, sign up, create an account. And yeah, definitely check it out. There's also a 7-day free trial for anybody who wants to check it out. And for those of you who've been with us for a while, first of all, thank you. Thank you for believing in us. But we did it. Late last year, we launched the Tokenmetrics token. Yes, Tokenmetrics, TMAI. Finally has a token. We're tokenized. We're pivoting fully to Web3. Thank you to everybody that's been supporting. We'll have lots of updates. This month and next month is going to be a big month for Tokenmetrics. We've been working on building our AI indices, basically letting you passively invest in crypto, and basically build not just a model portfolio or an index, but also sector-based indices. Because to be honest, this last cycle has been a trader's market. It's been sector rotation. Because really, let me actually go straight into the platform and show you. This is basically analysis I've been showing. Actually, let me keep this because I'll need this later. I'll just go to the market page. But if you go to market, I'm sorry, if you go to Tokenmetrics, when you log in, go to analytics, go to the market page. This is the central hub of the platform. This is where we basically, actually, sorry, just give me 1 second. Let me switch screens here so I can see myself. Just switching so I can see myself live. Okay, yeah, so let's say you're brand new here. You want to find some alpha. You want to make some money in crypto, trade in crypto, investing in crypto. Where do you start? You go to tokenmetrics.com. This is the market page. This is the central hub. This is where everything starts. This is where, if you want to get a pulse on the market very, very quickly, this is where I start every single day. Also on our webinar, this is where I start when I walk through our premium customers and how to use the platform. This is where it all happens, right? So first thing first, we show you the most recently turned bullish signals. So we have our AI we've built over the last 5 years that goes through our platform and takes various different data points, from market data to on-chain data to social data to any quantitative data, and think of it kind of like a credit score for crypto, right? It gives you a grade on a scale of 0 to 100% on how bullish or bearish a token is. And we have thousands of grades for thousands of different tokens. And we can aggregate all those tokens and create a single market grade. This is similar to like the fear and greed index, except this is based on actual data for investors and traders to make informed decisions off of. And yeah, so we come here and very quickly we give you, in essence, a newsfeed on what tokens are turning bullish or bearish. And right now, we were in a bearish trend for a long time. I don't like to think of the market in bull markets or bear markets. You can if you want, but I think in crypto, especially if it's a trader's market, you want to think of the market as having bullish or bearish trends. Because you can have a bullish trend in a bear market, and you can have a bearish trend in a bull market, right? So my video on our channel on Tokenmetrics about how this is going to be the biggest crypto bull run ever, that has not changed, right? You can use the pivot points of the Bitcoin halving as having a pre-halving rally. Typically, you have moderate gains, if any, in Bitcoin. And then post-halving is where you have the 100Xs, the altcoin season, where everybody becomes a moon boy or moon gal, right? That typically happens post-halving. And historically speaking, every single halving, the gains in Bitcoin diminish, but the length it takes for that bull run to last, on average, lasts about 25% longer. That's in the data. Not the biggest sample size, because we only had 4 halvings, but that's still fundamentally in the data. Until things change, we're sticking to it, okay? But one thing to note, if you use our market indicator here, it literally called the top on January 18th, right? 2 days before Trump's inauguration, it called the top. It said, hey, you know what? We're looking at the data. We don't care what side you're on. Everybody's promising the moon. But you know what? Take some money off the table, move to the sidelines, go from being risk on to risk off. That's what happened. And when we saw this, I can't even lie. We were like, what? We're like, we're about to have a pro crypto congress. Are you telling us to go risk off right now? And it did. Check the tape. This hindsight is 2020. It was perfect. The market went from basically peaking at about 3.8 trillion total market cap to a low of 2.5 trillion market cap. $1.3 trillion in capital was flushed out of the market. This signal saved a lot of money, right? Obviously, some people stayed in the market. We still also hold some assets in the market because not every time do you want to sell everything. It depends on your time horizon, right? If you're trading, yes, get out of everything. But if you're buying and holding, accumulating for the long term, and you can wait 2 to 4 years or even longer, hey, buckle up, hodl, don't sell, right? But this was a huge reduction in capital in the market. But what's crazy is if you zoom out and go back to last cycle, actually it's not here. Looks like we made some update here. But last cycle, the market peaked at 3 trillion total market cap. So not really much has changed in crypto. Right now we're at 3.4 trillion. The market's just finally begun to go up. But what does that mean fundamentally? That means no new capital was really entering the market. If it entered the market, it was getting flushed out very quickly. Think the meme coins, right? Libra, people making pump and dumps scams, people putting money into crypto, taking L's, lots and lots of L's. That or people just taking money out of crypto completely. But while there were still gains here and there, those gains were not long lasting. They would rotate from one sector to the next sector. So it became a trader's market. It became sector rotation. You had 1 month was all memes. Anything memes was pumping. Then it went from memes the next month to AI memes, from AI memes to AI agents, from AI agents to real world assets. So every single month there was a new shiny, sexy sector happening or pumping. But in aggregate, net new capital was not really entering the market. If it was, it wasn't. It was short-lived. And now we're beginning to see that the market is slowly becoming more bullish, right? Our signal went from being bearish to being bullish April 22nd at about 3 trillion total market cap. So it basically helped you avoid 800 billion in capital leaving the crypto space. And now our bull and bear gauge, it was strong sell for the longest time, pretty much this whole way down. And now it's rising. It's been rising. Last week it was around sell neutral. Now it's buy. It's not quite a strong buy, but this is more so if you're looking to trade the market. If it's strong buy, you can literally trade anything and anything will do relatively well, right? This is more so for traders. If you're a long-term investor, a value investor in crypto, you can kind of flip this and think of this as if traders are buying, you're selling, or you're taking profits to traders, right? And if traders are selling, you're buying, right? Because as a value investor, long-term investor, you want to buy at the lowest price, right? This is Howard Marks' school of thought, Warren Buffett's school of thought. You buy when there's blood in the streets. You buy when everybody thinks it's the end of the world. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's not easy. It's not easy buying when everybody thinks it's the end of the world. That means it's easy to say you're a value investor when things are going up, okay? But when the market's down 40% in 12 hours, it's very tough to pull the trigger to buy. And it's very tough and very challenging to continually buy as that is happening. That's the challenge in crypto. Here, let me just see. I'm not seeing the comments stream in for some reason. I don't know why yeah, we're using Riverside, but it's not updating. Okay, see Tomas. Hey, Tomas, good to see you here. It's been a while. But anyway, long story short, we're in buy territory. If you're a value investor, it's not necessarily frothy just yet, but be ready. If it goes all the way here, might be a good time to maybe not buy if you're a value investor. But anyway, just want to kind of go over that. But let's quickly go back to the stream. here. All right, so trending coins of the week. Which coins do you want me to cover? So the options are our own token, Tokenomics AI. I figured people would want me to cover that as well. We have Limitus, an AI project. All these projects we've covered on Tokenomics and also on the platform. We have Mudang. It's had quite the few days, up over 100%, quite the rally. We got Bitcoin, we got Ethereum, we have Kaito, and Virtuals. Basically, for AI projects, Bitcoin and ETH has had quite the resurgence after everybody was counting ETH out. It just bounced back. Okay, so it looks like people want me to cover our own token first. Obviously, as usual, not financial advice. Always do your own research. If we come here to the platform, you can just go to Tokenomics, search for TMAI or Tokenomics. Surprisingly, I mean, I'll be real with you. It's been a tough bearish trend, right? We peaked at about 112 million FTV. I think on CoinGecko it's like 150 million FTV, and then it's been quite the crash. But one thing we noticed today is we come in here on the platform. TMAI just turned bullish on May 11th, basically yesterday, right? Trader grade based on the on TA, basically think of this as technical indicators and based on quant grades and all that. But anyway, I'll let you guys come in here, take a look. All I can share is we have some great updates coming up at Tokenomics and TMAI. The main one are the Tokenomics AI indices. This is the holy grail of crypto, the holy grail of our community, because we're known for our indices here. And we have people who've been manually following and trading these indices, right? Basically, it takes all the grades on the platform, gets those that have the highest trader grade, and creates a diversified portfolio. This rebalances daily. But what we're building that's coming out for Tokenomics and TMAI are actual AI indices that you can actually invest in fully on-chain in a non-custodial manner. Because we know in crypto, we've been around for a while, almost 10 years now. Not your keys, not your crypto. Not your keys, not your coins. Right? So to show you what that looks like, so if you go to our ratings page here, this shows all the different tokens on the platform. Right now, it's sorted based on trader grade. So if you're a trader, what has the highest trader grade, right? This is based on a score of 0 to 100%. That means if you're trying to be a sniper and trade, these are the best trades right now. Not financial advice, but it's kind of like your GPS, your Copilot, letting you know what to look at, because there are a million coins in crypto at this point. You can't trade them all, right? So how do you quickly figure out your watch list? Think of Tokenomics as your curator of the watch list of tokens to trade or to buy long term, right? And we also added the ability to actually buy tokens directly on the platform here. But I'll quickly walk you through if you knew how to use it. You come here to filters. You can filter for different metrics. So I like to filter to only see trading signals that are bullish. We're not trying to trade anything bearish unless you're trying to short something, maybe on Hyperliquid or some other platform. But we're just trying to purely look for tokens to trade. Then I like to add in tokens that are liquid. So we'll say only show me tokens where the 24-hour trading volume is more than 10 million daily. And now we're down to 46 tokens. So we don't have to look at 4,000 tokens. We can just begin with this. And the top one, Virtuals. This is a project that had quite the rally. So if we go back, so I have all these pulled up here. So a lot of these are ones that are trending based on trading volume, like Mudang is trending because I believe Coinbase or Binance is going to be listing it. But I'll quickly go through those that are trending and kind of give you my quick opinion on each one. So first one we saw was Virtuals Protocol. this is one of the blue chip AI projects out there. Obviously, this AI crypto space, AI agent space hasn't been around for long. It's relatively a new space in crypto. I like to think of this similar to the dot-com era back in the late 90s, early 2000s with search engines. Basically, there were so many different search engines out there that were going to change the world. You had Google, you had Yahoo, you had Alta Vista, you had Excite, you had Ask Jeeves, right? You had so many different search engines. And honestly, if you were boots on the ground back then, it was very hard to see which one was the winner. But eventually, the market picked a winner. It ended up being Google. But even back then, although it was very early, there were signs that Google was the winner. If you work in tech, I didn't work in tech. I was in like what, 98. I was in 5th grade, but I remember vividly my first time using Google, and I was like, holy cow! Like what I was searching for, I found it very, very quickly. Because before then, search engines were basically just directories, right? There wasn't really any search engine or any ranking or AI or anything like that, anything profound to help you find what you're looking for. It was kind of just keyword search. Google's technology completely changed the game. And why I remember that is after using Google, this first few days, I never went back to any other search engine after that. So the technology really shifted. It was that leap of 0 to 1 improvement. Right? It was a 10x gain in my searches, even though I was only in 5th grade. Okay, but that was the early sign. .com stocks still crashed. A lot of them are not around anymore. For those of you who remember, like PetSmart and all that, they were far ahead of their time. Those ideas, but those that stood the test of time, they bounced back, and now you have FANG. Now you have Alphabet or Google. They're still king of the hill when it comes to search, although they're being now challenged with AI search engines. But without rambling too much, the same thing's happening in AI, right? We had just AI agents season back in December where things were just going to the moon and beyond. Like that was the biggest month for our fund, Token6 Ventures. The whole year long, one single month, everything AI, and we were heavily invested in AI. We had a huge month. But then the month after that, things crashed. Also became our worst month. Okay, and you basically have to ask yourself: do you hodl? Do you trade? Right? But there were a few blue chips that we said, you know what? Based on our research at Tokemetrics, based on the fundamentals, based on the technology, we think these projects are worth holding. We think that there's enough here that if it all goes down to zero, if this is the end, if the swan song is over, the game of musical chairs, sector rotation is over, some of these projects we think will bounce back by next cycle. That was kind of the framing we had. And Virtuals is one of those projects, right? So we see here, I mean, if you got in here early, first bullish signal back in September at 5 cents. It went all the way to a high of $4.32. I mean, that is a lot of money. I mean, I'll be honest, we didn't catch it here. We wish we did, but back here, because AI had not pumped yet, because we already had a first AI season back in when I think ChatGPT 3.5 launched for the first time, where everything AI pumped. Back then, it was basically Fetch AI, Super Intelligence Alliance, and all that. So we've had a few AI seasons, but every time there's a new AI season, it's kind of a little different, right? It rhymes like the past, but it's a little different, right? It's the remix, right? So the remix was from AI to AI agents. Actually, I'm sorry, from AI to AI memes, then from AI memes to AI agents. But anyway, we saw enough value. At one point in time, if you go to Dune Analytics dashboards, Virtuous Protocol was just printing money. They were printing a lot of money. I'm going to see if I can find this. Let's see, Virtuals. Yeah, let me see if I can find one that shows their revenue. Okay, yeah, maybe this one. Okay, so here we see they've made $50 million in protocol fees. Volume over 7 billion. Right? Obviously, the peak was here, which was December 3rd. Virtu was made. Is this made? Okay, I guess added $1 million in one day. Let's go to protocol fees instead. Yeah, so this is actually January 2nd, 2025. It made more than 2 million in protocol fees. That was the peak, right? But this on-chain volume, this on-chain basically metrics showed us, you know what, there's something here. And yeah, it crashed. It went down almost back to zero. But now it's slowly coming back again. I don't know if we can zoom in here. Okay, I guess we cannot. But metrics like this showed us, you know what, this plus the tokenomics means that this is worth keeping an eye on. But anyway, very bullish on Virtu's protocol. That's kind of my spiel on it. Trader grade is very high, strong buy. Signal is bullish. So I think it's one of those projects that's worth keeping an eye on. I can see here almost 90% of the tokens are in the top 10, but I wouldn't necessarily worry about it at this point. This might be mainly smart contracts, but if it's a concern, you can look into it. We get our data from, I believe, DeFi scan or DeFi scanner. This factors into all the grades, so the trader grade and the investor grade. But right now, I think if you're looking for a blue chip project in the AI space or AI agent sector, Virtu's protocol, I think, is as blue chip as it gets. Now, I'm not saying it's going to win the game or win out long term, but out of all the projects in this sector, I think there's enough value here early on that it's a high probability that it will stand the test of time, right? Things could be wrong, but out of all the tokens out there, this I think is worth keeping an eye on. And that's why we have it here on our watch list. You can just mark it to put it in your favorites or your watch list. And it shows you all the tokens we're keeping an eye on. And if you want to buy it, you can actually just buy it here on Tokenmetrics. Just connect your wallet and then buy. Okay, so that was virtuals. Let's actually go to Limitus, since people want us to cover that a lot. Limitus is one of those AI projects we came across. Wow, it's up 55% in one day. Trader grade. So this is the beauty of having not just a grade, but also the rate of change in the grade. I think is something I like to use. It basically shows us that there's a possible reversal about to happen, right? Because the signals here are somewhat, think of them kind of like a moving average based on the grades. So they're last to change, while the trader grade changes very, very fast. The trader grade changes by the hour or daily, basically, right? But trying to trade that, if you're trying to zoom out, that's why we have kind of like a moving average, which is a signal that tells you, okay, this is bullish or bearish. So it turned bearish at 8 cents. We had this as well early on, but then it kind of, once AI agents kind of went down, this is one of the projects we liked, but it was very early. It was very low cap. It was super degen. We do like to degen. We do like to search for 100 X's. But this is one that we sold, and it flatlined, right? Basically at a penny for a long time. And while the signal technically is not yet bullish, just knowing how we use the platform, we see the price is up over 50% in a day, in the last 24 hours. And the trader grade is a buy, and it's up almost 400% change in trader grade in 24 hours. It tells me a reversal is happening. This has bottomed, right? So I would not be surprised in a few days if this signal turns back to being bullish. So you can front run that, but possibly trading this. So let me actually add this back to the watch list. And this is super low cap. We're always getting questions on what low cap coins do you like? if you're looking for AI low caps, that's $20 million market cap in FDV. Great tokenomics. This is, I would put this on the watch list. If anything, we might even buy this again. Let me just open up the website here. Think of this kind of like a chat, but for the desktop. If you come here, Limitus. Okay, I guess they're not showing this here. Let me. Here, let's go to their Twitter. But I think for a $20 million market cap project, that's a lot of upside, right? Let's just make. But think of this kind of like a Siri for crypto, right? So you have it here on your desktop. You can come here, you talk to it. We'll fast forward, and it can basically execute trades for you. This is one of those, I would say, high risk, high reward AI plays. Now, I've not tested it, so definitely take this with a grain of salt. But if you're looking for a low cap degen plays to trade, I think Limitus is worth looking into. And I see here the community thinks so as well, or our viewers think so as well. Up next, Mudang. So I've heard this be called the Shiba Inu, or the Dogecoin of Asia. We can see here it's up 13%. Trader grade is a strong buy. If I just scroll down here, it's up 500% in last week, a 5x in 1 week. That's a lot. It's done well. So Signal turned bullish at 4 cents. It's currently at 24 cents. Now, has this peaked? FTV is 234 million. Good tokenomics. It's on Sol. Let's check their Twitter or X. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is just a meme coin, but it has a lot of volume. That's the main thing that really stands out. If we go back, Mudang, basically it has a lot of volume. It has over $1 billion in trading volume. Trading volume is up 54% in the last 24 hours. So if you're looking for a meme coin, and relative to other meme coins, it's still doing pretty well in terms of valuation. Let's actually compare the meme coin sector, since I know that's kind of a hot sector. And I can see up here, Pepe is trending, so is Trump. So we'll go to categories. We'll do, looks like this is broken out by all kinds of, yeah, we'll do Solana memes. I'll just click everything meme. Actually, there's meme right here. Here's a meme. What happened to my mouse? Okay, let's see what we get here. Okay, for memes, based purely on trader grade. Yeah, we have virtuals, we have AI16Z, we have Brett, AIXBT, Mudang. So Mudang, almost the same market cap as AIXBT, but more than 6x, almost 10x, well, not quite 10x, but close to 10x, the 24-hour trading volume. A lot of traders are aping into this. So I would keep an eye on this. I think most of the demand is coming from Asia. So think of it kind of like the Asian Dogecoin, but it's a hippo. It's a hippo meme. All right, so we have that. There's Bitcoin, there's ETH, there's Kaido, there's virtuals. I'll quickly just go over these because not many people are voting for this. but Bitcoin has been bullish since 85K, we'll say, April 17th, and it's going up. It's still a strong buy. So the way Bitcoin goes is the way the market, in essence, has been going. So all things look good. It's up about 20% in the last 30 days. ETH has had quite the bounce back. It turned bullish May 2nd at about 1,800. It's at about 2,400 right now. Strong buy as well. And really, what triggered this, the fundamental catalyst for all this, was the Petra upgrade from Ethereum. It's basically an upgrade that made it an improved user experience. People using ETH or L2s know how harder it is to use. There's a lot of friction with using Ethereum, from having to sign transactions multiple times and approve them, compared to other L1s like Solana. Solana has done incredibly well, 10x from the bottom. We kind of basically called it because the data just showed Solana would bounce back. They raised a ton of money. They had a thriving developer community post FTX. So all the FUD from FTX and Alameda we knew it would weather the storm. We knew next cycle, they're not going anywhere anytime soon, right? With the money they had, their treasury from the tokens and all that. So it bounced back as expected. Now ETH still has a long way to go. I recall the last live streams we had, year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago at this point, we're talking about how I believe Solana would outperform Ethereum. And that has happened. But now, because back then I was like ETH maxi. Then I became kind of more open-minded, right? Because when you see value, you see value. And now I'm saying, okay, ETH is at what, 300 billion FDV. If we go to Solana, okay, Solana is 103 million. I'm sorry, 103 billion FDV. So ETH is about 3x the valuation of SOL. SOL is also bullish. We see here at about 140. It's currently 171. Also a strong buy. So the question is now, at this point in time, will Solana still outperform ETH? Will there be a Solana flippening? That's tough to say. That is very, very tough to say. Maybe a month ago, I would have said, looks like it. Now, with the Petra upgrade, Ethereum is looking more fundamentally strong. They're making updates, but the main issue at hand is L2s. L2s are taking value out of L1s, out of ETH. So Base is incredible. I mean, Tokenmetrics, our TMAI token, was built on Base, right? Because we looked around and they had the best ecosystem, especially for us doing an AI project, right? We've been involved in lots of different EVMs, right? From investing into EVM chains like Obscuro, which is now 10 protocol, to doing asked about NFTs on the Ethereum chain, to incubating and helping out with Astra DAO on Arbitrum, and now TMAI on Base. And Base is the best right now. And Base is kind of centralized, right? Coinbase is a central entity. I know they're slowly trying to decentralize their chain. I think they had an update maybe last week about decentralizing a part of the L2, but it's not quite there yet. It's basically the American version of BNB, Binance and BNB, or Binance Smart Chain. But long story short, if you're looking for an L1 blue chip at this point in time, what would I hold? Very good question. I mean, I like SOL. I like ETH a lot now after the Petra upgrade, and it's done very, very well. I think now it has a chance to actually not underperform. And one other L1 people are keeping an eye on, or mentioning a lot, and it's also on our radar, is Sui. Yes, so Sui is the Move blockchain. Before it was Sui and Aptos, they're kind of competitors. Both teams from Facebook's Meta blockchain project that was scrapped. They launched their own L1, bringing the Move programming language, which is meant to be just a better developer experience, onto an L1 blockchain. And if we look at Move's currently at about 39 million FTV, also a strong buy. It's up about 70% in the last 30 days. So honestly, I don't think Sui, Solana, or ETH, I like them both. Sui is beginning to make moves. They recently announced a video game. They're really going towards gamers. I know they have hosted a bunch of people. Our team was there at Token 2049 in Dubai. There was a talk there from Sui by Raul Powell that went viral. But what I'm starting to notice, though, is the plumbing of crypto. The infrastructure providers are beginning to integrate Sui, right? That's what you have to watch out for, right? Sui has basically, in my opinion, surpassed Aptos. Aptos is dead. One of the co-founders left, took his equity in tokens and bounced. But what we keep an eye out for, if just do a quick search, Phantom today posted about Sui. Right? Phantom, at this point, probably the best mobile / web wallet out there. Supports both, supports numerous chains from Solana first to EVM chains to Bitcoin, and now they've added Sui. That's a whole new audience that's exposed now to the Sui network. Just think about that, right? So definitely worth keeping an eye on this. And then with Tokenmetrics, we're building AI indices, and one of the infrastructure providers we're using is a project we like called Li-Fi Protocol. And they basically help with smart order routing across different chains. And they also integrated Sui. Let me see if I can find this here. Okay, it's not popping up, but I think last. Okay, I can just search it here. Right, April 17th, they integrated Sui's chain. So we're seeing all these infrastructure providers. The third one that has yet to integrate Sui, but I think if they do, it's one of those really premier glue of crypto, is Privy. They have yet to do this, but we're keeping an eye on this because we also use Privy, Privy Wallet. Okay, I don't know why it's not showing here. Privy Wallet here, right? A lot of projects use them for basically abstract wallets where you can just log in with your social login, Twitter, Google, Discord, Telegram, and behind the scenes they create a wallet for you, but for your users, people don't even know. We use Privy actually on our platform. If you come to Tokenmetrics and you come here to buy, okay, maybe that's the indices. I think that's the indices that we're about to launch. But in essence, they abstract all the complexities of having to buy crypto and all that, or manage crypto wallets for you, right? They have yet to integrate Sui. But what we do have is a lot of infrastructure providers are beginning to add Sui. This is the same thing that happened before. It was all ETH, all EVM chains. You had MetaMask and all EVM wallets. And then slowly you began to see the infrastructure providers from RPC software companies to wallet companies begin to integrate Solana. And Solana took off, right? Once it became very easy to onboard and buy and bridge funds from Bitcoin and EVM to Sol chain, Solana went to the moon, basically. And I'm seeing the next catalyst, not financial advice, but that I'm seeing, just reading the tea leaves, is Sui. So I think Sui, if you're looking for a large cap L1, that will probably outperform Bitcoin, maybe even Solana and ETH. If you're really bullish, Sui looks like that, right? Let's actually maybe come back here. If we go back to our filters, let me just do I have categories? Yeah, let me remove categories and re-add. Let's just do layer one. It seems to be taking a while. Here, let me refresh. Okay, seems like we have an attack. Okay, there we go. All right, so looking at all the L1s, which ones would I keep an eye on? Fast token, nope. Collateralize. I've never heard of this. Hyperliquid. Oh, we love Hyperliquid. This very, very bullish on Hyperliquid. One of the premier blue chip projects out there. They're just dominating perpetual DEXs. They're basically becoming the Binance on chain. Because if we go back here, just looking at, actually maybe not here. We can, if we go to DeFi Llama, if you're looking for large cap blue chip projects that are new, that's the key. People in crypto love sexy, shiny new tokens. The old adage stays true to this day. Old projects rarely pump. Right? Projects from last cycle, I would say 95% of them never go past the all-time high the next cycle. That's why you have to either trade sector rotation or find the true value, the 5% or less, that will actually bounce back. And typically there's signs that they'll bounce back, right? So when it comes to DeFi, and when it comes to DEXs, perpetual exchanges, we'll come here to categories. We'll go to let's do derivatives. Okay, this isn't quite what I was looking for. Here, let me just do this on Dune Analytics. We'll do, okay, let's open this one up. Then I'll also just type in hype. Hyperliquid. And see if this gives us the data we're looking for. Okay, this is not pulling in data from, it's not pulling in recent data. Let me see if I saved any of these. Cato DEX. Okay, this is just cross-chain. Okay, I thought I had a dashboard I saved somewhere, but it's looks like it's. But anyway, very, very bullish on Hyperliquid. That's the long story short. If we go back here, I think we've kind of covered most tokens. Let me just now take a look at the Q&A. How long have we been going for? We've been going for almost an hour. Just like the good old days, I think we're about to go overtime. Because I know that a lot of questions, and definitely want to get to all the questions, or most of them. So let me just go through this real quick. Okay. All right. Let's go to the AMA. Okay. First question is, when will TMAI basically have its next listing? We can't share exact listings, but we definitely do want to make sure the token is widely accessible to anybody that needs to or wants to use it to access our platform and the different products we have. What it is currently available. Let me just walk through this. If you come to our website, I think it's going to be under because it's not pulling up here. Let me. Okay, was it? Okay, we had a page here. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I guess our team moved things around. Okay, there we go. I just had to click the menu. Just go to tokenmetrics.com/TMAI, the symbol of the token. We definitely believe in DEXs and being on chain. So because it's a base token, it is available on Aerodrome. This is the Aerodrome pool. You can just come here. Well, even down here, it shows you how to get the token to access it. But anyway, Aerodrome, if you're trading on chain, on exchanges, it's on Gate and MEXC. Both basically big Asian exchanges. I mean, it's definitely not Binance or Coinbase, but they're very formidable in terms of just trading volume. And then this was pretty cool. It's available on Bitpanda. Bitpanda is kind of like the mini Coinbase of Europe. The cool thing is, I think this links to Bitpanda here. So the way it works, Bitpanda sources liquidity from Gate, but this is our first fiat gateway, meaning that people can buy TMAI with fiat on Bitpanda. And if I open the link, where'd the link go? Okay, I guess the Bitpanda link's not working. Okay, we'll have to check that out. We'll just say, I think it's Bitpanda. Here, I'll just find it online. Just taking some notes here. Where's the website? Okay, it's just bitpanda.com. But basically, you can just come here and just search for TMAI. But the cool thing is, using fiat, they let you, one, just buy crypto stocks, ETFs. Think of it kind of like a mini Coinbase or Robinhood for Europe. Has millions of users, but they also, the cool thing is they have the ability to do auto buys with fiat or recurring buys with fiat. So if you, we'll do crypto. Okay, we'll just click cryptocurrencies down here. Okay, it should be, yeah, here we go, token metrics. Yeah, but anyway, for anybody who likes to use fiat or prefers kind of exchanges with good UI UX. It's definitely one of those, I would say, normie friendly exchanges. I would definitely looking to expand and get more coverage. So we'll definitely keep you posted. And we definitely want to add more on-chain versions out there. Because if you come down to, we'll just search TMAI. Okay, it's not here. The best DEX I like to use is actually built by LiFi, one of the projects we're integrating with. It's called Jumper.exchange. You can pretty much buy any, not any token, but most tokens on any chain. You can swap them here easily. Definitely a hidden gem. It's my go-to. Right? You can come here and basically, whether it's Base, Bitcoin, ETH, any chain, right? So let's say you want to exchange ETH to Sol. You can come here and they'll do the whole swap for you cross-chain, right? So this is where I do all my DEX trades. They source liquidity across different DEXs, so you don't have to worry whether it's Aerodrome, Uniswap, 1inch, 0x, Matcha, Jupiter. They do that all for you. Highly recommend that. So if you're buying on chain, that's where I would go. Okay. I don't like how it keeps on leaving full screen whenever I change tabs. Okay. When trading bot, and will there be a sign-up fee to use it? Good question. Trading bot basically are AI trading agents. Right now, we're prioritizing the AI indices. They're both kind of the same thing. Trading agents would just help you buy individual tokens. So if you come to Tokenmetrics, or let's pick, we'll pick Limited since that one, actually Limited hasn't turned bullish. We'll pick, I guess we'll stick with SUI, right? So the trading agents basically just help you automate buying and selling based on these trading signals. So the idea is when this is bullish, you basically enter the trading agent or a bot. When it's bullish, it buys. When it's bearish, it sells. All fully automated using our signals. But based on talking with our community, there was more interest in the AI indices, which basically are doing the same thing, but they're allowing you to buy a whole portfolio of indices. Actually, let me see. Maybe I can do a little preview. Let me see how many people we have on the stream. Okay, over 150 people on the stream. Basically, will be similar to our indices here, but on chain, you can just connect your wallet via Privy, and using fiat, using actually give me. Yeah, maybe here we'll do a preview just for the stream, because it's been longer than a year since we've kind of lab. This is not the final design. We've been doing interviews with our community to get feedback. So the final design will change, but this is basically an earlier version. Let me play this at 2x speed. But the idea is we'll have different indices for different sectors for different chains, right? So I mentioned earlier in the stream, it's all about sector rotation. This market has been a trader's market, right? So 1 month is AI agents, next month is real world assets. Before that, it was AI memes, but who has the time to follow all this and try to buy all this, right? It's very difficult. So we're building an automated way for you to just basically say, you know what, let me buy AI agents. You put in your capital and it buys and it will rebalance for you as that's happening, right? So right now we have basically weekly rebalancing because everything's happening on chain. So you'll keep custody of funds, right? Because the indices we have here, they update daily, but this assumes you're using centralized exchanges, right? And the trading fees on Binance and other exchanges are much lower than the trading fees on DEXs, right? With DEXs, you're going to assume basically 1 to 2% in slippage, trading fees, all that, especially if you're doing cross-chain swaps. So we kind of had to make a slight change where the numbers don't work during daily rebalancing on DEXs. The fees will be eaten away. They'll eat into any gains you make, right? But what we're building is indices for different chains and different sectors, as mentioned, right? So you can say, let me just buy AI memes right now. And it will take the top 10 market cap memes initially. And as that changes, it will buy that for you, right? Every week it will rebalance for you. If there's a new token that does well that enters that list, it will do that. Then we'll also have token metrics indices using our own curated signals and ratings and all that. And this is where it kind of begins to turn it into a really big idea, because what we're trying to become is the vanguard of crypto. We want to be the index store where you come, you can passively invest in our indices. You just put your funds into any index of your choice, whether it's Tokenmetrics top 10 market cap tokens, Tokenmetrics top 100 market cap tokens. That's something we're also working on. So imagine buying a basket of the top 100 market cap tokens, and it will rebalance for you as new tokens enter and go, right? Fully automated, kind of like the on-chain index fund or the on-chain ETF for crypto. Or you can narrow it down into a sector you love. For example, DPIN. Imagine like a DPIN top 10, buying the top 10 DPIN projects, and it will rebalance as the market changes, right? So those would be more so passive indices. And then we also want to have actively managed indices where they don't just buy and hold, right? Let's say you want to follow our market indicator. You want them to enter the market when it's bullish, right? So buying DPIN, top 10 DPIN, top 10 AI projects. But when the market goes bearish, it sells everything, goes to stablecoins. It cashes out. It sells the top, right? Or close to the top, right? So going back to our market indicator here, right? It's not bag holding all the way down, right? Those will be actively managed indices. But here's the beauty of this, right? The way we're building this will be open to everybody. Yes, everybody. Right? Tokenmetrics is basically turning into an actual investment platform. Anybody will be able to access all this. So the next question is, you're probably wondering, how do we make money? Right? Great question, right? Two ways. One, Tokenmetrics, the protocol, will be charging fees on any trades or swaps is handling, right? A small portion of that will go to fees, all right? Under 1%, right? Will be basically trading fees for doing all this, right? There'll be no carry. There'll be no 2 and 20 like some traditional fund models, index fund models. We're saying, you know what? Nope. Well, at least in the initial launch with the actively managed indices, that we have to still figure out. But for now, basically no fees. But any revenues being generated, a portion of those revenues will go back to TMAI stakers. Anybody that's staking TMAI via the for-profit DAO will get a rev share, right? And right now that will happen quarterly, but we want to automate that whole process so it happens on-chain in real time. So, because the future is on-chain, and that's not just us saying it. That's literally every big exchange saying it, right? Coinbase is saying the future is on-chain. That's why they left Base. Bybit is saying the future is on-chain. That's OKX is saying the future is on-chain. Every centralized exchange is saying the future is on-chain. they're all reading the writing on the wall, right? And we're saying the same thing. And we're saying that's why we want to have the indices be fully on chain. But as mentioned, we want the revenues generated from all this to be shared with the tokenmetrics DAO, right? So if you have TMAI tokens, you can go to here. I'll just go back to the home page. Just go to tokenmetrics.com, governance. Actually, you can just come here to staking. You can basically just get your tokens, come here and stake. And when you stake, it basically gives you a staking score, and it gives you basically a stake token, which is what we call VETMAI. It stands for Voting Accrued TMAI. But it just kind of give you a perspective on why we think this is such a powerful idea, right? Let's say we're generating even just $1 million in fees in 1 month, right? $1 million in fees in 1 month, right? And let's say because anywhere from 10 to up to 50% down the road of protocol fees will be shared with the DAO, right? So, but let's say it's worst case scenario is 10%, right? That's basically, sorry, let me start over again. Let's say there's $1 million a month in protocol fees. 10% of that, 100K, is given to stakers, staking TMAI token. And let's say you own 1% of that, right? So the pro rata version of that is what you would earn just by staking TMAI, right? So if you have 1% of 100K, that's $1,000 a month as a revenue share just for staking, right? And there are not that many people staking. So a lot of upside, not financial advice, right? But to put things in perspective, actually, if we go to, let's go back to Dune Analytics. Let me see if there are any revenue dashboards. Yeah. Actually, maybe. Okay, so I see here there's Solana, although this hasn't been updated. Actually, maybe we'll do, I think DeFi Llama might have this data. Okay, I thought they did. Okay, yeah, here. Fees and revenue. Right, so let's look just at the last 30 days. These are protocols and how much they generate in a month. Tether's the cash king, almost over $500 million a month generated. Same with Circle, right? They're basically just making money, holding assets and minting stablecoins. Uniswap, 65 million a month. PancakeSwap, 66 million. Hyperliquid, over 40 million a month. Jupiter, 40. Actually, let me sort by 30 days. This will be easier. Right? So I think somebody had a question of what are kind of competing platforms. So you have Axiom. They're also recently launched trading platform. This is more for like advanced traders. They're generating 46 million a month in fees. They're actually generating more than Hyperliquid, which is crazy, right? Phantom Wallet, 17 million a month. Flashbot's Photon Wallet is also an advanced trading platform. They're generating about 12 million a month, right? Bullex, also a trading platform, 10 million a month. Aerodrome is a DEX, about 8 million a month. And the example I mentioned was $1 million a month. Right? Obviously, we want to do a lot more than that. But I mean, even PulseX, which I think is a DEX on on Pulse chain. It's like their fork of Uniswap on their chain is almost 2 million a month, right? So for us, we're opening up everything. And the value is, if you're staking TMAI, one, you'll have a reduction in trading fees. Basically, whenever the index is rebalancing and buying different tokens, we'll have reduction in fees. And I think because we have 10 different tiers or 10 different staking scores, so from staking score 1 to staking score 2, it's a combination of how many tokens you have and a combination of the length you stake. So for instance, if you stake $1,000 for 1 month, it's very minimal. Actually, maybe we can do it here, right? So let's say you're staking 10. Let's say you stake 10,000 TMAI. You would receive 10,833 VE-TMAI. But if you stake for 12 months, you get basically double that, almost, right? So in that example, let's say you had 1%, but you actually stake for 12 months, you'll be getting $2,000 a month in rev share. But anyway, so the main value prop, I would say, is a discount in trading fees. If you come here, what are the benefits of staking TMAI? It actually gives you the table, right? So we're kind of building slow because we want to kind of get things right. But there are 10 different levels. It's kind of matched to the plans that we have, from advanced plan to premium plan to VIP plan, and the equivalent. Actually, this does not have the trading fee scores, but I think trading fees is going to be going as high as 50% off at level 10. Let me have the team look into updating this. Let me just note that down. All right. Now we do have some other stuff lined up, but right now those are not the priority. So we do have the launchpad for private deals, basically taking the SPVs we've done, putting those on chain. So we've done a lot of SPVs for some pretty cool projects. We did an SPV for Peak with our VIP customers. We did an SPV for Andrina, the project I'm most bullish on, Dot Network. That was one of the most popular SPVs. We've done some others as well. I think we've done more than 6 SPVs, but we do want to bring those on chain and make those available to stakers of the platform, right? So we're basically building kind of like an end-to-end ecosystem to investors in crypto, whether private sale investors, whether on-chain through indices, or even trading agents. But right now, the main thing we want to launch are the indices. I gave you a preview of what's coming. And if you're staking, you'll have a discount in trading fees, and you'll also share in the revenue generated with the indices. And really, that's the main value add, I would say, for staking TMAI. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to mark that as answered. Then trading bot will come after the indices, but it will have the same model. Then where have price predictions gone? Not working on the site. Yeah, there was an issue with the price prediction data we were getting. So that has to be updated, but that is something that should be resolved shortly. Hey, I love the idea of TMAI agent, but a lot of the 3/4 of the time it returns an error saying servers. Yeah, I think some people are having issues accessing our AI agent. We are looking into it, but I think some people, it's very tough to replicate their issue. But I would say for now, just open a ticket with support at tokenmetrics.com. For those who are not familiar, if you go to TMAI agent, we have kind of like our chat GPT for crypto. You can just use that. If that's not working for you, we've also made our own version of the agent available on X. If you just go to 0x-TMAI. So whatever question you want to ask, you can just ask it there. And it's basically just posting daily market updates based on our platform and also based on the news. So you can come here and just tag it, and it will answer any question you have. Okay. I got a lot of tabs open. We've gone through a lot. Let me just quickly go through the chat here and see if there's anything I didn't have a chance to go over. Then we'll wrap things up. Okay, what's going on? Let me see here. Talk about Ethereum and Mint Layer. Mint Layer hasn't done well. Ethereum, last time I looked at it, was bouncing back. If we pull this one up, I think they had an update or upgrade coming out. But that thing turn it back to being bullish. Yeah, so I think they had some kind of update that's happening. If you like the project, maybe worth keeping an eye on this or holding through. Trader grade is a strong buy, so I think if you're trading it, it looks fine. Mint Layer, that one, I've not looked at it in a while. I think a lot of value just kind of went to Solana over the last 6 months or so. And basically EVM, Bitcoin did well, but the Bitcoin ecosystem and the Bitcoin L2s, that narrative kind of died off. So I don't really think there's been anything in the Bitcoin ecosystem that's done well. The tech is good, just hasn't really performed. Can you share when the launchpad and buy and burn will be activated on TMAI? In terms of the asked about NFTs, that we're hoping to finalize in a week or two. Now, from listening to just people's input, some people do want to keep their NFTs, so we're looking into it where maybe they don't have to burn it, but they will just get the equivalent amount in stake TMAI that they can use to access the platform without having to have the NFT, and the NFT becomes basically just art. Then if you're talking about buyback and burn for the rev share, the main thing is for us to launch the indices and to just have those generating revenue, and then that can be shared with the DAO. GameSwift. Yeah, I mean, gaming has not done well. I mean, it's been all AI the last 6 months. But I think GameSwift had turned bullish when I last looked at it. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I guess that was a different one. Yeah. So since December, really, it's gone down. I think gaming in general just has not done well. Gunzilla had a flash for like a flash in the pan for like a week or two when it launched. If we go to the gaming sector, let's take a look at that. Yeah, we'll do gaming. I'll just click all these. So the top gaming trades right now, we have Floki, Gaming and a Meme. B3 I've not heard of. Beam I've heard of. But honestly, I would not be gravitating to gaming at this point in time. I think the sector that's bounced back the fastest, not surprisingly, has been memes. I think memes and AI have been leading the way. Uh, you mentioned about fees. Do you know about layer 1x? It's a layer 1, but you do not have to pay a fee on it, and it swaps to any chain. L1x? No, I have not. When is the index coming to Tokenmetrics? Um, we're hoping to have it soon. The plan was to launch it this month, although there have been some just changes that we're kind of trying to factor in from a legal perspective, which might require us to change a few things. But we are trying to get it out soon. Reveal your altcoin portfolio, please. I mean, my biggest holding is not a surprise. It's TMAI. This is my life's work. It's my biggest bag. Pretty much 99% TMAI. Pretty much. Now I do have angel investments, and we do have that on the disclosures page. Projects I've angel invested in: Pixels, the gaming project, last year. Peak, love Peak. Andrina, because as a partner in the fund, if you go to ventures.tokenmetrics.com/portfolio, you can see all the investments we've made. All these have been early stage investments. A few have begun trading. Some have done well, some have not. But this kind of shows what we've made investments since. So Peak, Pixels, My Pet Hooligan, another gaming project. They're about to launch an Xbox game. Nillion. I call this the next chain link. I have videos on all these. Andrina. Out of all these, Andrina is my favorite. We invested twice with the fund, and I angel invested as well. Vana, the L1 EVM AI chain. We invested in this last year alongside Coinbase and I think Paradigm. Then they launched on Binance. And then recently this year, CZ joined their board. So that was a big move. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. So props to them. And a bunch of different other projects. Right, Parcel we like. It's trading. It's doing relatively well. It's kind of like the poly market for real estate. Already on Coinbase. Analog got listed. Hasn't done so well. Ready Games Network or Play got listed. It's kind of treading water. Dolomite got listed, actually. They kind of pivoted to Bearer Chain. So if anybody's building the Bearer Chain ecosystem, they're basically a DeFi project worth keeping an eye on. Then some other projects. Am I still bullish in mint layer? I like the tech, but I think the opportunity cost, the Bitcoin ecosystem is not. It did well last year, but in terms of it thriving, I think a lot of other ecosystems have kind of just taken over. So right now, it would not be the first choice I would have. Did you see the video by Crypto Odie, who shows how fast the Casper network is since their 10 BPS upgrade, where he shows how Casper beats XRP, SO, and SUI with speed? I have not. We like Casper, but I think the money's been made in Casper already. People made the 100Xs. Getting in at this point, I would not be the first thing I would look for. AstraDAO. AstraDAO basically is anybody that's holding AstraDAO tokens should have received an airdrop of TMAI. So those AstraDAO team was basically kind of acqui-hired by Tokenmetrics because we kind of helped incubate them. And now it was kind of like an on-chain M&A, right? We airdropped tokens to all the AstraDAO holders on-chain and also on MEXC exchange. So now basically the entire community has been brought into the TMAI community. What about Trader Joe? I haven't heard about Trader Joe in a while. That was the Avalanche DEX. I mean, Avalanche as a chain also hasn't really taken off like it did last cycle. If we go to DeFi Llama, and we'll go to Where are chains? I'll just go back home. Okay, it's under DeFi. And if we go to chains, now this is looking purely at, actually, because I customized this. If we look just purely at DEX volume, people trading on these chains, Avalanche is 9th. I mean, Sui has more volume, almost, yeah, like 5x the volume of Avalanche. So going back to what I said earlier, I mean, not many people are using Avalanche compared to all these other chains. So I don't know where even Trader Joe fits in on that. No, I think maybe they launch into other chains. If we take a look here. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Yes, I'm still bullish on peak. Still bullish. It's one of those, I think, long-term holds, nice and steady. Didn't perform as well as I would have hoped, but I still very bullish. Subcurie 3M is legit. 4x faster, multi-chain, better tech than the graph. And still at the bottom, invest smart soon. Yeah, we like Subcurie. I think that's Squid or SQT or something. Good tech. How about Lucky Dog? Yeah, that meme coin did all right. It had a huge crash with memes. I didn't sell, so I'm down a lot. I'm just gonna hodl. Ian, I agree with you. Sui is the next thing, but you don't pay attention to Casper, my friend. Casper, Sui, Say, and Tia all day long. I mean, great projects. Sui is one of those projects that I think could be the Solana of this cycle at this point, because actual key infrastructure providers are integrating Sui. I can't say the same for Casper. We like Casper. We didn't get in as early as we would have liked. Is Casper the next Bitcoin? I know Casper believers believe it. The tech is good, but I don't know if the money's there to be made. Hello, Ian. I'm from the post-chain community. Just wanted to say congrats on you winning against the SEC. Yeah, thank you, Franklin. I appreciate that. It was a long lawsuit, but I'm a free man. We won. Case is officially dismissed. It's changed my perspective on how the government works. Basically, it's a racket. It's like the mafia, and I'll leave it at that. Right? Do I have any thoughts on Zebig network? No, I do not. I don't really have much to say. What is your take on Space Mesh? Are they still building, but price per? Yeah, same thing with Space Mesh. I mean, all these L1s have just not performed. I mean, it was one of those moonshot. Let's take a look, because they added a new exchange last year, and then they just kind of fell off. So I don't know if that was just the team getting exit liquidity, because I mean the tech was good, but just the community has not really taken off. It was supposed to be the next Casper, but it's been bearish. So we had to unfortunately sell that one, but hasn't really bounced back. Yeah, this one of those projects that unfortunately just hasn't bounced back. Vana, yeah, we like Vana. It's doing well. One of those projects that I think, I mean, if anybody gets CZ on the board of the company, they're making big moves, and they got Coinbase backing them, and Paradigm, and basically they have all the heavyweights behind them. Now, so we're glad we got in early before the big boys. All right, I think we can end things here. Yeah, so thank you everybody for being subscribers. It's been a while. Definitely missed these live streams. We're gonna try to do these every single week. Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Sometimes I typically do join late because we're trying to get the technical issues resolved. But yeah, basically around 4 p.m. Eastern time every Monday, we'll try to do this weekly market update where we can take all your questions. And if you're a customer, we post the link to submit your questions ahead of time via the private Telegram group. So just go there, the private alerts group, and just submit any questions you want ahead of time. So we prioritize those. And yeah, if you're TMAI token holder, thank you. Thank you for believing. Thank you for hodling. And yeah, we have a lot of great stuff coming. I gave you a preview of our AI indices. That's the main thing. That's the holy grail we're building. I want to keep that feature on chain because that's where the future is going to be, right? So I know it's taken a while to build. We have been doing user interviews. We posted that also in the private alerts. So if you're a customer or token holder, just go to our private alerts group, schedule interviews. We appreciate all the feedback, all that everybody's giving us to make this a better product because we definitely want to deliver. We want to help people passively invest in crypto using AI. With that being said, as we like to say, the moon is not the limit to the moon and beyond. Thank you.